Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. My name is Nelly and I am an aspiring, almost actual indie author. And today we're going to talk about some tools for being an indie author. So we have my trusty laptop here and I have it all written out. I have 25 different tools. Some of them are very similar, some of them are things I haven't even tried yet, but I figured why not just name them. It is broken up into 4 different segments. The last 2 are kind of similar, but it's in 4 different segments. So I've never done timestamps, but I'm gonna try to figure it out and I'll timestamp the different segments. So if you just want to go watch that one segment, or if you're rewatching this and you want to find that one, I got you. So the 4 segments we have are courses, production, marketing, and social media. And that's why I said the last 2 are very similar, because social media is technically marketing, but I still broke it up. So let's get started. I haven't filmed in so long that I'm like, I don't even know how to do this anymore. Not that I was ever very good at it, but still. Okay, so the first segment, courses. This is so important because in general, not just for indie publishing, but like anything, you always just want to continue on learning and growing your knowledge and all of that stuff. So very important, especially important for indie publishing, because some of these, like when you're going to indie publishing, you're really just going and guessing. So if you could take any of these courses and like help yourself, that takes so much of the stress off. And the first course we have is the Publish and Thrive course by Heartbreathing / Sarah Cannon, who is an indie published author. It is an amazing course. That is one that I have taken. Once you pay for it once, you get a lifetime membership. So if she ever updates or anything like that, you get all of that information as well. So it's already worth the price there. But it tells you so much. It gives you different spreadsheets. Like I technically, again, because I haven't started actually publishing yet, it's gonna be at the very end of this month, but because I haven't started publishing yet, I haven't used some of the spreadsheets yet. But she does give you like spreadsheets for keeping track of your sales, your dollar amounts, income, taxes, like everything. She goes over different marketing for like standalones or for series. Most of her thing is on series because she has series, but she also talks about standalones, nonfiction. She goes through each of the different vendors like KDP, Kobo, Google, Barnes & Noble, all that, to walk you through that. Like it's so helpful all around. And she also talks about pen names, which I actually need to contact her kind of soon, like within the next couple of months, to ask her some questions, which is another amazing positive, is like you could just contact her and be like, hey, I have a question about this. You can do it through the actual course, or you can, I'm pretty sure you can just message her. You get access to the Facebook group, so you just message there and she can answer, or anybody in the group can answer. So you're also getting access to a whole group of people that can help you out. It's just overall amazing. It's completely worth the money. It's $399, I believe, for a one-time purchase, or you can purchase the like paying segments, and it's like a little bit more expensive. I don't remember the price, but I just paid a one-time price of $400 and just got access to it, and it was amazing. Would highly recommend. Okay, I'm not planning on talking that much for every single one of these. I don't know, I just went off on a tangent. But number 2 is Skillshare. I don't have anything specific on Skillshare to add. I'm obviously not like affiliate or sponsored or anything like that. I have like 15 followers. But Skillshare, just having an account there and taking courses on literally anything, it can help you out. You can probably find things on taxes, definitely on creative writing. There are like big time authors that have put courses up there. Do it on running a small business, because if you end up getting a publishing LLC or publishing any type of corporation, it doesn't have to be an LLC, you kind of want to know how to run your business, maybe some bookkeeping, all of that. So I highly recommend. I do have Skillshare. I use it randomly and just take random courses. The next 3 courses are the ones I haven't tried yet, and so I don't know like how amazing they are, how applicable they may be to your publishing career, but you can always do more research on them. These are some of the ones I've heard of, so I'm just gonna talk about them very briefly. So the first one is called Author Ads and intensive, and it's $698 unless the price has changed since I checked, but that's how much it is. So it's very expensive, but I think this one was the one that I heard where you have to actually like have the ball rolling on publishing before you get into that, because it goes over ads, obviously. I think it goes over Amazon and Facebook, and basically like the best ways to go about it to make sure that you're really making all the sales possible. But I do want to take this course. That's why I'm putting in this video, but I don't want to take it yet. Like I want to wait until I've got, I don't know, $5 to $10 and I'm like, we're really rolling with publication before I take an intensive ads course. But if you're there, check it out. Similarly, on ads, we have Ads for Authors by Mark Dawson. This one is more expensive. I know, right? It's $849 or whatever price there. Again, another ads course. Again, something you should probably wait until you've got a good amount of books and you're really rolling with publication and sales in order to get to that point. But another one that I would probably look, if you're at that point, look into both of them and try to see which one you think might fit you better. But just another option. Last one I have is technically, I don't know if this would really count for indie publishing, but you could probably make it work, and that's Teresa Toledo's Pinterest course. It's $297. It's basically a whole course on Pinterest on how amazing of a social media that is, but it's so underutilized. And I haven't necessarily used Pinterest for sales purposes for my indie publishing. I obviously have my boards for all my books, but if you could figure out how to do it and like really manipulate it into your niche, you could probably be making mega sales on Pinterest as well. So that's why I just threw that one in there. Take it as you may. Oh my god, I cannot speak. Next up, we have production costs. This is the entire section from writing your book to right before publication / publishing your book. That entire section. It's a hefty one. It's very important, and we're just gonna get into it. I'm sure I'm missing some stuff here, but if I come up with more tools, I'll make another video. So first up under production, we have softwares, and that is what you use to write your story. Technically, I think a lot of people also use Microsoft Word. I'm not putting that here. I don't like Microsoft Word. I've only ever used it to like transfer into Microsoft Word to send to someone, but I never actually used like to write in it. So if you like that, stick with it, have fun. I have Scrivener. I'm obsessed with Scrivener. I love it. Highly recommend. It's, I believe, only $49. I paid less than that. I think I paid like 20 something because I had coupon codes and big sale kind of thing. But even if I had paid $49, completely worth it. It's a one-time payment. And then you get access to it with your licensing. It is amazing. I love it. I think they're doing updates on it too, so would highly recommend. I am obsessed with Scrivener. And the second one is Campfire / Campfire Pro. I technically have Campfire. Again, I got it for like 20 something dollars. So I just have Campfire. I don't have the Pro version. And I think in the Pro version it's kind of more like Scrivener, where you can also write your full book there. But the thing about Campfire is that like you can make your entire book Bible in it. So it's like if you're writing fantasy or sci-fi, highly recommend. There are sections for like each of your characters. You can put in a picture that represents them, all like what they look like, all their attributes and stuff like that. There are world building, there's maps, there's family trees. I played with it a little bit before I like officially got into writing, because I was writing this different story. Yeah, I never got into like actually getting through that story, but I started on that. So it is a fun time, but I just don't have the patience for it. Like when I'm in the writing spirit, I'm trying to actually get through the book, and that's something where you have to like actually take your time and put in the work. But if you're writing fantasy, like high fantasy, because I write fantasy too, but like if you're writing high fantasy or sci-fi, I definitely think it's worth it, and I definitely think you should probably invest in it because it'll Bible your book. Next up, we have formatting, and under this I also have two little sections. The first one is Vellum, of course. This is for actual formatting purposes. I use Vellum. I'm pretty sure it's only on Macs, so if you don't have a Mac, I don't know what to tell you. But there are also plenty of videos on how to format on like Microsoft Word and stuff like that, so you can always look that up. But I use Vellum. It's very simple, honestly. It's amazing. I really like it. I figured out ways in order to make certain pages happen. I'll show you what I mean. So in Vellum, when you put in a title page, it gives you a title page based on the formatting of the rest of the book. So like, this is the one I used to proof my book, don't judge. Because I chose this type of chapter header, it gave this for the title page. I did not like this because I wanted something that matched the book, and I figured it out. And that's why I have two things under formatting, because the way I figured it out has to do with this. So I used LunaPic. I use LunaPic for a bunch of different things too, so this could technically also go into marketing, but this is where I go to make like transparent backgrounds. This also, if you hear stuff in the background, my roommate is like in the kitchen, so oh well. This is where I go to make transparent backgrounds, change colors, change from one format to a different, like JPEG to PDF or something like that. Actually, I don't think they have PDF, like PNG, any of that. But I love LunaPic. It's all free. You just download your picture and you're good. And that's how I use it. So I basically downloaded a picture. That's how I got to changing the color for my logo. Everything is amazing. Highly recommend. Also highly recommend Vellum. Next section, I don't actually know what to call it, so I'm calling it resources / deals because I don't know what else to call it. And that is just things that you can join and be a part of that will really help you in the indie publishing space. So number one is the Facebook group 20 Books to 50K. I am part of it. It's amazing motivation. If nothing else, it's just great motivation. Like, people post pictures and talk about stuff and you're like, wow, like I can really do this. But it's also really great help. So if you're having a problem, you can also get onto that Facebook group, research everything that's already happened, because it's a very extensive Facebook group and you could probably find your answer. If not, you can always ask and get an answer there. So either way, very important. And it's nice to just have a community of people that, like, you know, are kind of in the same boat as you. The next one is another one you have to pay for, but again, totally worth it. It's the Alliance of Independent Authors membership. I had a brain fart. It's technically three different price points. I think it's the middle price point of $119, and that's when you're just starting / you're like have a few books out kind of deal. I think the biggest one is like you fully have like a running publishing house kind of thing. But indie authors, I think, just need the middle section. It's $119 and worth every single penny. So on top of just you being a help, and you can find resources there as well, they have a deal section where you can find like promo codes for a bunch of stuff. I have so far only used the promo code for Ingram Spark, and just with that, it is worth it. I think you only have 5 times a month that you can use that code, but that's all I need. And it's basically a code that lets you upload to Ingram Spark for free rather than paying the $25 every time you need to update your book. I've already used that code. I used it for October and November 3 or 4 times already, probably somewhere around there. So that's already like $100 worth of Ingram Spark codes that I've used, and I've only had it for a little over a month or 2. This is a 1-year membership, so I still have months and months and months of abusing this deal. So I would highly recommend if you're abusing Ingram Spark. And the last one, again, didn't really know what to call it, so I called it like keywords / categories. And this is when you're at the end stages of your production and you're actually like uploading to these different vendors. You have to put in your keywords, your categories, all of that good stuff in order to give your book the best chance that it has. So the first one is called Publisher Rocket. It's one-time purchase of $97, and again, worth it. So you get access to the, I don't really know what it's called, but you get access to whatever the thing is, and you can literally look up all sorts of different keywords, and it tells you how popular they are and how competitive they are. So essentially you want one that's popular but not competitive, and you can actually find them. So yeah, I've had fun just like researching through that, finding some that are really competitive. Like it's really, really competitive. There's way too many people in that segment. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna put my book there, especially as a new author, because you're gonna be looked over compared to all the other people. So you want to find one that really fits your niche. But another reason this one is really good is because it automatically subscribes you to Kindlepreneur, which is the people who made Publisher Rocket, and they email you with like a bunch of advice, resources, and all that stuff. So yeah, more help. And then the one I have for categories is from Nerdy Book Girl. She has like a book category finder hunter thing. You can literally just look that up, like Nerdy Book Girl category hunter, and it gives you a list of a bunch of categories and basically kind of helps you figuring out like your best category. I feel like I've been talking forever. Okay, and the next group we have is marketing. Marketing. This is the most important part in terms of sales, because you gotta just keep your marketing up, especially when it feels like nothing's happening. You gotta keep it going. So marketing. I really didn't know what to title any of these sections for marketing, so we're just going along with it. The first one is called materials. And this, by this I mean like the material you're going to use in order to market your books. I know it's not creative, okay, we're getting past that. So first up we have Canva. Obviously, I feel like everyone uses Canva. I use Canva to make these thumbnails. Like I use Canva all the time. I use Canva even more, but now they've changed everything, so most of the things are for pro instead of for the free version, and I'm not paying for it. I do know people who pay for it though. They love it. If you want to pay for it, highly recommend. If you don't, you can still use Canva for more basic things, and it's still perfectly fine. Like I still use it all the time, and I love it whenever I can use it. So highly recommend that. But as an indie publisher and the author, you're gonna need something for your book specifically. And although you can Photoshop this, I'm not good at Photoshop, so we're going straight into a thing that does it for you, and that's BookBrush. This is, again, has 3 different tiers, I believe, and you can also use the free version. I have the tier, I don't remember which one it was. I think it was the middle one. It's $146. Again, I had a coupon code, so I got like for $125. Not much, but I got a bit off. And this is where you just make all those promotional pictures, the ones where like you kind of put your cover on the book itself. I'll put an example right here so you know what I'm talking about. But I love BookBrush. I play with it a lot. And yeah, I just, as an indie author, even if you don't get the paid version, use the free version, play with it a little bit, use it a little bit, and then you can decide whether or not you want to upgrade. Again, don't know what to call the next section, so I just called it sales. I don't really think that's a great representation of this section, but oh well. And in this section we have Book Report, which is Amazon only reporting on sales. I feel like that sounds weird, but it's basically whatever sales you get in a month, it kind of reports to you, and it like catalogs all the sales, the amounts, and all that stuff. It only does it up to $1,000 a month for free. Like if you made up to $1,000 that month, you get the service for free. After that, it's like $20 a month. That would be worth it if you have like 20 books out, because then it's harder for you to catalog it all by yourself. But if you only have a few books out like me, there's no point for you to be paying $20 a month for something that you can be doing on your own. So I am going to be using that. Again, I don't have a book published, so I can't use it yet. I'm going to be using that for as long as I can until we hit $1,000 a month, as well as like keeping track of sales on my own. But it's still a useful tool, especially if you don't like doing it on your own and just like the administrative side as much as you can like give off to other people. Great tool. And then the next one, again, I don't really know if this fits here, but I put it here, and that's Linktree, and that's the thing where you click on it and it has a bunch of links to a bunch of different sections. I put it under the sales section because technically you press Linktree and it can link to your like Amazon page and all your different vendors. It can link to your website, it could link to your newsletter, all of that stuff. So it could lead to sales. So yeah, I do have this. I need to actually update mine now that I think about it, but I do have this. And yeah, I think there are different versions of Linktree as well, like competitors. I don't know what they're called, but you can always do that too, like research into things like Linktree if you don't necessarily want to use Linktree. It's free. I think there's also obviously a paid version, but I don't know how much that is. So if there is a paid version, I'll put it here. And the next section is called swaps. Again, these sections don't have good names, but this is like swapping with a different author, part of sales again, technically. So it could also be like a subsection of sales. And under this, we have two little categories. First up, we have story origin, which is, again, I haven't used this yet, so I don't necessarily know how this works, but I believe you go on there to find people to do like newsletter swaps with, book swaps, all of this stuff with, in order to promote yourself to their audience. Again, works on like you have similar readers, similar audience sizes and all that stuff in order to benefit both of you the same amount. So there's that. And then there's also BookFunnel, which BookFunnel is what a lot of indie authors use to send out arcs. I haven't used it yet. I do plan on using it in the future though, so that's also another important tool here. But you can also use it to find other authors to do swaps with. So BookFunnel has like those two sections. And finally, we have social media. Okay, for social media, I broke it up into 3 different social medias. They're the 3 that I use only. I don't use any other ones really. So those are the ones we're going to talk about. Even these aren't necessarily that extensive or like a huge list, but they could be helpful. So first we have YouTube. The YouTubes. And the first thing we have here is iMovie / Premiere Pro / Final Cut. Obviously, you need to be able to edit the videos if you're going to be on YouTube. iMovie is free if you have a Mac, so that's what I use. I used to use Premiere Pro when I was in school because I got that for free with my school, but my subscription has been cut since I graduated. I highly, highly, highly recommend Premiere Pro. I loved it, and I miss it all the time, but I just haven't gotten myself to shell out the money to get it for myself. So if you want to, that's great. I know a lot of people use Final Cut. I haven't used that. I like Premiere Pro, but I do use iMovie. iMovie is great for just basic stuff too. So then there's the putting music into your videos without copywriting it. A lot of people use Epidemic Sound, which is I think $15 a month per YouTube channel too. So if you have like 10 YouTube channels, you have to get it for every single one. But it's $15 a month, and you can use whatever music is on that platform in your videos without getting it copyrighted. Currently, I do not use that because I would at least like to make $15 a month for my channel if I'm going to be spending that. So I don't use that. I just look up copyright free music and I use that, which is why it's not the best music in my videos, but still got it. And the last one I have here is another one I don't use, but I've heard of, and that's called PicMonkey. And this, I think it has like a bunch of different things it can do for you, but the one that I know it for is like helping with making thumbnails and all that stuff. Again, if you have Photoshop and you can edit yourself, you probably don't need this. But if you don't and you just want something to do it for you, you can get this. It's $72, I think, a year, like an annual purchase. So if that seems like an okay price to you, go for it. Next up, we have TikTok. This is a huge, huge seller for indie publishers. I, again, have not released my book yet, so we'll see where that goes for me. But I am on TikTok basically every single day. I only have one here, and that's called Trend Talk, which is an app that follows all the trends on TikTok, so it can tell you what sounds are trending, what sounds are about to be trending. So essentially, you can use all that information in order to make your TikToks, put them out, and get the best result. It's a $20 annual subscription, so I don't have it yet. I feel like I'm gonna get it soon though, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't have it yet, but again, $20 a year for this, I don't think it's a bad idea, especially if you're gonna have to like wait it out and see if it is actually useful, like a couple of months. But if the sounds it's giving you are helping you rise up and get more sales, because it's not about followers, it's about sales. If they're helping you get more people seeing your posts and in turn you're getting more sales, completely worth it. And finally, for Instagram, even though my Instagram is garbaggio and I need to actually focus on it and I haven't, Instagram is another one that I do use. So one very good, it's technically not an app, that I use is snaptic.app, which is a website. And that basically what happens is you post a TikTok and then you take the link to that TikTok, you put it on snaptic.app, and it downloads it without the watermarks. So you can take that video and put it as a reel on Instagram without the TikTok watermarks on it. Which, I mean, I guess if you want to promote your TikTok on your Instagram, you can leave the watermarks, but I don't like leaving the watermarks. So I just switch it over to that, take the watermarks off, put it as a reel, and post those. And yeah, it's just a very simple and easy way of doing it. So highly recommend. And then the last one I have for Instagram, again, I think because I haven't really been using my Instagram, I haven't really paid attention to it, but it's called Preview. It's basically an app where it lets you see what your page is going to look like with each of your posts. So if you post this picture next to this one, is it going to break up like the consistency of your aesthetic or stuff like that, you know? So yeah, if you're kind of obsessive about your aesthetic, would highly recommend. Okay, so that is it. I have been talking for a while. My throat kind of hurts. Yeah, I talk a lot, so that's not very surprising. But those are all of the tools that I have currently. I've used like half of them, maybe probably more than half. Right, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.